How is learning at UniMel different from your previous studies?
Ooh, this is a good one. It's a lot more independent than anything I've done, that's for sure. But it's also a lot more fun because we're given so much independence in terms of what we do that you can always find a way to bring in the things you're passionate about into whatever you're studying.
The previous study that I have is more dependent on how teachers supervise me. But then when you come to university, it's more about self-studying, and you have to have a self-conscious about how to manage your time.
It's pretty different. What I had studied back in India, it was more of mugging up the answers and writing them down. Here I haven't written a 200-word essay. I'm writing 2,000-word assignments out here.
Yes.
It's pretty tough for me, for sure. What about you?
Yeah, I think the teachers here will not come to you directly like, what is the questions? You have to go directly to your teacher. The teacher will not find you.
Most of my class are really small. We get to know each other really well, and we get a lot of chance to talk to our professors.
It's just a different everything. It's just a different pace, a different way of studying, of learning. Even the relationships that you can have with your teachers and fellow students are very different than in Mexico, but it's been very rewarding at the same time.
Will I need to buy books? I think for my major, I don't have to buy the books because the books here is really expensive, I think.
Yes, they are. Not just expensive. If you go out and print stuff, that's expensive.
That's expensive, yeah.
That's expensive.
I think that depends on the course. I've never bought a book. Everything I've needed has been provided online and on LMS and on online platforms, but I do know that some people do need to buy books.
Actually, for my degree, I haven't bought any book yet.
In my case, I had to buy a lot of books.
Some subjects are compulsory to buy the textbooks, and then you can get it from the campus bookshop, which is called Co-op, C-O-O-P. And then the teachers will tell you whether you have to buy the textbooks.
Would you recommend working part-time? Yes. Will I have time for that? Yes. But even if you don't and you end up screwing up, I feel like managing work and school life teaches you a lot more than just studying with F. So yes, definitely work part-time.
I did a part-time job in my first year, second semester, and also second year, first semester. Usually, the part-time work that you can discuss with your employer, and you can tell them what are your available times, and they will mostly respect your own time as well.
I work about 20 hours per week, and I gained a lot of experience, and I knew a lot of people outside my study and outside university. So I would really highly recommend you to work part-time. Even if it's not related to your study, and it's still good to work part-time, and also to have some extra income while you study.
I don't think that that's a good idea, but then that has been my experience. For me, it was kind of challenging, particularly the first year of my program of the course. I was not habituated to the rhythm or pace of studying that the university can sometimes be very demanding, and I wasn't used to that. So I had to focus really hard in my studies on the first year.
I recommend working here, but I don't recommend working in the first semester, because in the first semester you are really new here. You have to be familiar with everything, with the city, with your study. So
I didn't. Literally, for my first semester, I was pretty stressful because some of my friends did start doing it, but I couldn't manage to start. Okay. I couldn't even manage to think that I need to start a part-time.
Yeah,
it's difficult for the first semester.
So firstly, you have to adapt the life here. So,
but more than that, it shouldn't be a priority if it's not part of your career. You should literally focus on your studies and get good marks. Because
that's the first thing.
That's the first thing.
Yeah.
So you shouldn't be in that stress mode that even if you have reached semester 2 or semester 3, that isn't your priority first. Your priority is your academics, and you shouldn't falter there.
Who was the first person or department you talked to for help on campus? Was it helpful? I think the first person I talked to is from the orientation, So I get some help from orientation how to be involved into student clubs, student associations, and what kind of activities we can do on campus other than study.
The first person I talked to was the staff in Stop 1 because I have to collect my student card.
Stop one.
Oh yes, Stop 1, yeah.
Back in India or back in your home
Stop
country,
1.
you are going to talk to Stop One. That's
Stop 1 is really good.
It's a department.
yeah,
It's a proper department.
Yeah.
It's called Stop One because it's the first stop that
Yes.
you would reach out to. They are the guys who help you out with all your queries, with every kind of query, whether it's academic,
Yes.
whether it's career oriented, whether it's your course oriented, whether it's your life oriented. Everything
Yes.
gets sorted at that space.
Don't worry about it. You'll get the help that you need automatically as soon as you get in.
What if I don't understand my lecturers or my classmates? So you need to know that as international students, culture shock or different awareness of different cultures is always exist. I think the best way to overcome this issue is to talk more with your lecturers or classmates. If you feel like there's something you don't understand, then just ask the lecturer after the class.
We're starting in a second language, right? And that's always challenging. And that's from our part and from their part, from the university side. They're always very comprehensive and very supportive, so they will be happy to help you and support you.
Just ask them to repeat themselves, tell them if you don't understand. Everyone's here to help.
Ask your lecturer, ask your friends, ask your classmates, just ask anyone, or ask a librarian.
You know, it's gonna be fine. Just ask people for help.
Food. What should I expect in terms of food on campus? Food on campus is as diverse as students on campus.
You have Korean food, Chinese food, Mexican food.
I don't cook and I buy food from campus and off campus. So I think there are a lot of different variety of food on campus.
What do you think?
There are no Indian food. There's no Indian
No
restaurant.
Indian food? Really?
And more than that, there are free food available here.
Oh yeah.
I don't know whether you would be running for them. I do usually.
Really?
So,
Oh.
yeah. So it's on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, and there are time slots. You can contact me personally, and I'll let you all know which other ways you can access free food.
How many hours will I expect to spend on my studies? A lot, man, a lot. Just I cannot even count them. We're here. You will be here, being students, and that's our objective, to study. That's our main activity. Don't think about the hours that you have to spend studying. Don't think it as something that it's disencouraging. Just undertake it.
As much as you can, if you want to get good grades. But normally I would say, to me, myself, probably if having lectures and workshops or content, 5 to 6 hours a day.
I think it just depends on your style and how you work, because some people are slower and some people are faster.
Oh, 8 hours per day. Yeah. Okay.
We come here to study, so I spend a lot on studies. Some go to class, doing assignments, doing readings. I guess generally I spend about 40 hours to 45 hours on studies every week.
This is a really good one. So what's the difference between a lecture and a tutorial? And sometimes I've kind of heard them used interchangeably, like a tutorial and a seminar are the words they sometimes use. But the biggest difference is a lecture is usually with the lecturer, and it's a bigger kind of classroom, and there's not a lot of back and forth happening. So it's what you would think a lecture is. The lecturer comes, they teach, they leave. Whereas tutorials are smaller, kind of longer classes where you can get with a smaller group of people and you have a tutor, and it's collaborative, and you get to work on assignments and do a lot more practical things or discuss things in depth. So basically, tutorials are a chance for you to kind of get with other peers and learn things in more depth than you could in a lecture. And I would say that they're both equally as important though. Like, I know people don't have to go to lectures, but definitely go. It makes a huge difference.
What is the difference between a subject and a course? Okay.
A course is a broad thing. It's a degree that you earn in the end. That's the certificate. A subject is a part of a course that you are studying. If I'm pursuing Masters of Marketing Communication, so that is a course. And my subject is marketing management, so that's a subject.
How should I address my teachers at uni? It's a fun one because when I first come here, I always like to keep the habit of calling every professors or teachers as teacher because that's what we do in China, right? But then I think here you can call them by name. It's actually very hard to adjust at the beginning if you probably feel like so rude to just call the teacher by name. But I think this is how they do here.
This is something I kind of struggled with, but just call them by their name, you know? Like whatever they ask you to call them, just do it. It's fine. They're probably gonna tell you, so don't worry about it.
You should always call them by sir, by madam, using madam. You can't call them by their names, for sure. And whenever you come across them, you need to touch their feet. Every time.
Well, just call their name, like Jack, like Lisa. So, because in China, we just always call the teacher like Teacher Wang, but here you don't have to mention any teacher or your Mr. or Miss. You just call their name.
Yeah, but if you call anyone here by by teacher or by professor, you will be charged a fine of $200.
What's the difference between a lecture? Oh, I'm done.
Yep, that's it.
And I think I got through them.
That's all. So fast.